the little prostitute, Karima.
Remember how he said he never had a girlfriend? And you were the first girlfriend he had? No.
We were able to run her through our algorithms and our facial recognition software. They do have a past. They had a relationship prior to all of this.
Pedro, he told me that him and Karima were nothing. He said they didn't have a past or a future. They didn't like each other, that they were just friends from...
You know, I know your concerns were about, was he having an affair? He was on a trip. They called it a business trip. And it was out there with two of his people that he works with. All signs point to that he was probably with the older female. Be sure that between the two ladies that he was not doing right by your daughter.
Well, he said it was him and his mentor.
What's going on, people? What's going on? The truth shall set you free. May not necessarily be the case in this situation, but the truth is starting to come out. And that is that Pedro right now is not looking good. It's looking more and more as if he was never loyal to Chantel in the first place. And that's never a good look. And to be fair with you, we did know, well, I mean, I remember making a video about it, about how his boss, or the woman that obviously he worked with anyway, was definitely somebody that he had spent time with quite a bit, you know, outside of working hours. And that's something that definitely had a lot of people thinking, what the hell is going on? And now the fact that this PS coming out with this information is not looking good. And then also on top of that, to lie that you've never been in a relationship before, but you have though, and you have with the same girl that your woman doesn't like because of how you and that girl behaved when you were together at the very beginning with the dance and everything. This is not a good look, Pedro. And it's just crazy because anything that comes out against Pedro will always be used as a tool to say that he was only ever with Chantel because he was using her. It would never be a perspective of, well, he did these things because he was unhappy, you know? He did these things because of da-da-da-da. It'd always be because he used her for the green card. And to be fair, I feel like every reason that we are coming across does feel very, very much fitting because these events happened during the time when they wasn't married. And then they also happened during the time when they were married, which clearly means that this guy was hell-bent to making sure that he got married with Chantel until he got exactly what he wanted. And once he got what he wanted, boom, he switched up. And if anything, he probably switched up in a way where he was hoping that Chantel would leave him. But because she never left him, I think that's why things ended up going the way they did. But we continue.
I know Karima for a few years.
How much history do you have with her?
It's a little complicated. Karima is my friend of the past. She's looking well tonight.
Did you and Karima ever hook up?
I never hook up with Karima. Nope. I said Chantel, come alone. I never hook up with Karima. I said Chantel, come alone.
Interesting. How can you say that it's a friend from the past, right? And then you ask the question of if you've ever hooked up and you're like, no, but you're saying that your relationship with Karima has always been complicated. If it's been complicated, that tells me that 100% you always had a thing for her. And maybe the complication is that even though you had a thing for her, things never really went the way that you would like them to go. I mean, to be fair, in this situation here, we do find out that she's now, you know, married. Well, not married, but she's now engaged and, you know, ready to get married and all that kind of stuff. And therefore, Pedro's a bit like, oh, damn, I missed my shot. But so going back to the complicated part. So the complicated part could be maybe one, he did have an attraction to her, but, or still does, shall I say, but then Chantel came along and he thought green card over the woman that I want. That could be the complicated, right? Knowing that she wanted him at the time. Or the complicated could be she's a woman that he knew. They definitely did a little thing here and there, maybe kiss, whatever. But then Chantel came along and he was like, green card over. Do you see what I'm saying? So if there's any complication, I think the only complication that I'm reading of the situation is that you had an opportunity to be with her and you had an opportunity where maybe you have been with her, but you chose to not actually fulfill a relationship with her because you saw a better opportunity in the fact that you could get a green card. I'm just saying, how can a relationship be complicated with somebody who is just a friend? I don't have any friends who I've got a complicated relationship with. If I've got a complicated relationship with any one of my friends who's a female, it clearly means we was never friends, you know what I mean? I was just doing it. I don't do that, okay? I'm just clarifying. But just be animated, okay? Yeah. Entertainment purposes, yeah.
Oh, that's Karima.
Well, this is what he just posted today.
I knew something was up. I knew it.
You know, the fact that they are now divorced, him posting a picture of anybody, to be honest with you, it's none of our business. This is the grand scheme of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said before, the more he does certain things and the more things get revealed, it just definitely proves more and more that he was only ever with Chantel for one thing. And 100%, he knows that, you know, this is the woman that Chantel disliked the most. So for him to post a picture of him with her, obviously it's never going to be a good look and it's always not going to work in his favor, 1000%. but they're divorced now. So in really and truly, Chantel's feelings, her family's feelings in the situation is absolutely irrelevant because it is what it is. Damn, life.
This house is like a ball and chain just tying us together. And I can't believe that he wants to not sell the house just for a little more money.
You know, a lot of people, when they are over someone and they want that person out of their life, they will take losses to have that person out of their life. Trust me, I know about it. I took losses to make sure that I was no longer in the life that I was in before. This is what I'm saying with my ex. So it's quite interesting that Chantel was at that point where she's like, listen, I don't care how much money we lose at this house. I just want out, and that's me done and dusted. Pedro, on the other hand, he's like, no, I still want to profit from this. And again, this is another one of those things that just doesn't work in his favor. It's another one of those things that literally shows us and tells us that the only thing he ever cared about was the money that he was bringing in and the fact that he was now in America. That's it. You know, it's funny because whenever Pedro talks, you see, whenever it's his scenes, he always talks with this sadness in his face and this sadness in his voice. You know, always got this persona of, you know, feel sorry for me, you know. I was abused. I wasn't looked after. This woman didn't do right by me. She let me down. You know, she was always out with her friends and all that kind of stuff. He's always got the same persona, like, you know, Chantel never be happy for me. She'll never be home. She'll always be out with her friends. I mean, he speaks a lot slower than that, clearly. But my point is that I don't know why he's still playing along with this whole idea that he was never actually with Chantel for the wrong reasons. Because if you ask me, the guy went, what, a whole year without even touching Chantel. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There is no man in this world that would be in a relationship, right, with any woman, to be honest with you. It doesn't even matter whether it's Chantel or whatever. There's no man in this world that would be with a woman, whether he hates her or not, whether they get along or not, and not want to get his wet. You see what I'm saying? Because for men, having that moment to get that little release out, it's a big thing. You know, it's a big thing. So, like I said, there's no man out there that would avoid being with a woman and not touching her for a whole year, unless, of course, he was into a different gender. There is that. Or this is the other thing, unless, of course, he was getting that punani elsewhere. And that's why these whole cheating allegations and whatnot, they seem to feel very much real. And I think from a man's perspective, I know from a man's perspective, if I'm with someone and I'm not giving them the that means I'm giving it to somebody else. Point blank, period. That's how we are. Okay, and I'm not speaking about on a cheating type thing, you know what I'm saying? I'm a loyal man, just what I'm saying, yeah? Black men don't cheat. I love that saying. No, but I don't. But either way, though, his whole thing with Chantel is just, nah. I don't know why he's still carrying this facade as if he was never in the wrong, as if he's never used her. But okay. And the fact that he wants to say TLC is the one that's editing and manipulating things, okay, cool, you can say that. But bro, you're the one that's saying what you're saying, and that's that. And you keep coming back every season for another season, and I wonder why. Because you love the money. You love the money, you love the status, and you love the fact that you're in America making that money, because you know when you was in DR, you wasn't in a position to be making the money you're making now, so you knew that you had to get to America to make the money that you're making now.
And I saw that you posted something about Karaima.
That's not your business.
Why you meet up with Karaima?
It's not your business. In the art, whatever freaking want, it's not your business. No more.
You owe me an apology. You owe me an apology, and you owe me a thank you for using me and treating me like for 7 years, and I stayed with you through your erectile dysfunction. He didn't have sex with me for an entire year. I mean, maybe it was more of erectile displacement, but he didn't get it for me. I didn't want to believe it. My ex-husband, he lied to me. He used me. He disrespected me. He's literally treated me worse than trash, and I don't know who he was in my head and in my heart, which of course he presented himself to be in love with me. But in the end, he couldn't keep up with that facade any longer.
Need I even say any more? Was she in the right to ask him the question about Karina, whatever her name is, without being rude? Was she in the right to ask him that? I think that's subjective. I would say a part of me would say no because they're no longer together and he can do what he wants. But a part of me would say yes because I guess she deserves that closure from him, you know, because at the end of the day, that's the woman that was always the biggest threat to her in their relationship for a while. So I can understand her wanting to have that closure, wanting to have that clarification to see what the hell you're doing. You know, was our relationship ever real? Was it ever real? You know what I mean? Was you actually ever genuine? So to be fair, I would say from her perspective, I understand exactly why she asked that question and why she needs the answer, because it is closure that she deserves 100%. But on the other side, you know, if you're thinking on a different perspective, it is none of a business because they're no longer together, you know what I mean? And that's the grand scheme of it. But I'm just gonna run with the fact. I'm just gonna run on the perspective of her side, and because of her side now, I don't blame her for feeling used. I don't blame her for feeling like as if she deserves an apology from him. You know, I don't blame her for feeling as if she was treated as trash, or what. The fact that she was treated like trash, like I said before, I believe that he started treating the way he treated her because he wanted her to leave him. So therefore, if she left him, she could never say to him, well, I used you. But if he leaves her, then she can say to him that, well, you used me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if that was the angle that he was trying to go for, but it just never happened. Do you know what I mean? So that's why he had to pull the plug on his own accord or whatever the hell happened anyway. But also with that being said though, it's the amount of passion that she put into the comment of like, he didn't even sleep me for a whole year. You know what I mean? And listen, the matter of fact is I know people, and I know everybody else knows people who are in very unhealthy relationships, messed up relationships. I'm talking about, when I say messed up, I'm not talking about just being toxic in terms of like you're swearing at each other, you're calling each other names. I'm talking about even that disgusting domestic type shiz as well. You see what I'm saying? And even people in those relationships are still being intimate. You know what I mean? Okay. And the crazy part about it is that they're still being intimate by choice. So many are. Obviously, there's some that are not, but that's a different type of conversation, which we're not trying to add into this. I'm trying to add into the point of where people are in healthy relationship but still have intimacy because they want to by choice. You see what I'm saying? And I can tell you this now, every single man that was watching this show and heard her say that, we was like, what? How was you not? And the first thing that we think of is that, again, either one, you had other people. But to be fair, even if you're sleeping with other people, why would you still not? To be honest with you. That's just a brutal honesty. So really and truly, the only reason why you may not be is because, well, maybe secretly you've been doing some Will Smith, Dwayne Martin, Usher type stuff. If you know, you know. Even though I don't believe that's true with those guys. I mean, Will Smith's my idol, man. Like, it can't be true. Usher, no, it can't be true, man. Yeah. It can be, but it is what it is. Either way, though, let me know exactly what you're thinking down below. Because like I said before, throughout this whole video, each and every time we see a new episode of this new season, every episode keeps proving more and more that this man was only ever in Chantel's life for one thing. And that one thing was definitely never, ever love. Because if love ever existed in their relationship from his side, he would have still been trying to make it work. I mean, last season, we saw Chantel trying to make it work quite a bit, but we saw nothing from him. And I feel like we've seen her support him over the years way much more than he has supported her. But hey, let me know what you're thinking. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.
It doesn't matter who was showing interest. Even if a famous Canadian rapper showed interest in me, I wasn't emotionally available.
Oh yeah, this little bit here. So it looks like maybe it was Drake that slid into her DMs. I mean, in this episode, Pedro does mention Drake, but she's just Canadian rapper. You never know. It might have been Tory Lanez. Well, we all know what happened with that guy anyway. But anyway, I'm out. Peace.